Shalom, shalom. Welcome back to the channel. You are watching Journey with Us, a digital nomad family of 7 traveling through Southeast Africa. So today I have something really juicy to tell you, because you're going to want to invest in this before you move to Africa, because word on these YouTube streets and what y'all be seeing on these social media platforms is that a lot of people are not investing wisely when they move to Africa. And so you're like, because I'm American, I got this little like chip on my shoulder, so I'm gonna just come throw money at something, come throw money at this land, come do this, and it's just gonna pop off because I'm American. And then you find out 6 to 12 months down the line, you're like, oh, that didn't really work out the way I thought it would. And so we've been telling you guys, because y'all know we've been abroad for 4 years. In August 2024, like, we need to have a huge celebration. I'm just saying, August 2024, that's amazing. But anyway, y'all know that we have been abroad for almost 4 years in August. And so people come in the comments like, how have you made it work? Like, what do you do? What's the secret sauce? What is it? And I'm about to tell you in this video what the secret is. And it's really not a secret, because we've been telling y'all this, but a lot of people just don't really know about freelance writing. They don't understand freelancing. So you guys think that you can have a W-2 job and then you come out to East Africa, because we're in Southeast Africa. We haven't been to West Africa yet. So you come out to these regions and you're like, oh great, I have my 40 hours per week. I'm gonna just hustle it out with this remote job, and the remote job lets you go. And then you're like, all these tech layoffs, all these layoffs, this economy is crazy, so how am I supposed to survive? And then you gotta hop back on the plane and go back to America. And then you're mad, then you're sad, and then you're like, man, that was kind of a failure at that rate. But don't let failure deter you, because it's only a failure if you give up. It's not failure if you keep trying, and if you keep continuing, and if you keep learning from your experience, right? So number 1, you're not a failure. Number 2, you just need to plan properly and invest in the right things. As freelancers, we've been freelancing since 2017. Okay, it's 2024 now. That's a lot of years. And so almost a decade now, we've been out of the workforce. My husband, he's been out of the workforce since 2020. And so the reason is because you can't rely on a job. I keep seeing in the comments y'all saying y'all getting laid off from these tech companies. I keep seeing on LinkedIn, it doesn't matter black or white, everybody's saying they're getting laid off. Marketing roles, all these different roles, and it's because corporations, the way that America's economy is right now, and even the global economy, there's always an abundance of resources, but only in certain spheres. And so people aren't spending money the way they used to. And that includes businesses. Businesses aren't hiring people the way they used to, because we have this new age of AI, we have these new changes on the earth, and people are really reassessing the idea of somebody working 40 hours per week, paying all of their benefits. That's a loss from the corporation standpoint. That's a loss from a business standpoint. As an entrepreneur, that's a loss. Now, some of the corporations, they got money for all that, but obviously some don't, just to be straight up. And so what you need to do to fail proof yourself is up-level your skill set, master freelance writing, become a writer, because every business needs writing. It's probably the top in-demand skill right now, besides people wanting other humans to train AI. And if you're like me and that's not really your thing, I'm not big on training AI. I'm big on being a human the way the Most High created me to be, and to use my creativity that way. And so if that's something that resonates with you, you need to look into freelance writing, because there's a huge gap in the market right now, even more so. In the age of AI, the huge gap in the market is that we're going to have all of these newbie writers and people that don't have a real passion and love for creativity and for writing and for storytelling and for humanity. They're just going to be like, oh, well, let me just chat GPT everything. And then they're not going to get sales. And then their business is eventually going to die out, because they didn't take the time and the due diligence to create stories and even look into their target audience's life. And that's something you just can't do with ChatGPT, because ChatGPT can't tell me what my routine was like this morning. But these are intimate story details that I've been using for my clients to become more relatable for their email marketing. And so I write their emails. One client, she's on the road to 8 figures right now, and she just scheduled a new retreat in Tanzania to get out of the business. Like, I'm so happy for her, because To me, it's just amazing when I see Black people loving storytelling, loving organic marketing, loving ethical marketing, loving creativity, and then their business outshines because of it. Okay. And so from that standpoint, that's why you need to become a writer, because just like that business, I can't do all of them. Do you know how many Black owned businesses are out here? A lot, all over the diaspora, not just in America, in Canada, in the Bahamas. I've worked with people in Canada, worked with people in the Bahamas, worked with people in Ghana, the Middle East, all these people. You have Black owned businesses in Dubai, but the issue is they need writers like you to come in there and actually care enough about storytelling to craft a beautiful story, to look at the world around you and just talk about it. And then once you write those emails and you're able to transition and make it relevant to that target audience, for example, I work with finance and real estate clients. So anytime I'm writing and telling these stories via email, I make sure to transition it and flip it in a way that makes it relevant to that industry. That type of content, do you know how valuable that is? This is why clients are willing to pay you and I thousands of dollars per month. And they don't care how long you're working. They don't want you to work 40 hours a week, 20 hours a week, 15 hours a week. They want the value in the stories that you can tell. Because if you can tell like 10 real good stories for those clients every single week, and then that explodes their business and people are coming to them like, whoa, that email you wrote earlier, that really just made me want to reach out. Do you know how that feels for that client, for that Black owned business? It's like, wow, I'm surviving in a global recession while my business is thriving. We're on an always on season. You can experience this too for your clients, but you first have to master freelance writing. So that's the number one thing that we invest in. We invest in writing here on this channel. If y'all look at our community tab, you will actually go through and notice I'm always writing on the community tab. I'm always connecting to you guys and telling you guys stories so that I can be cemented and so that we can be cemented in your mind, and so that we can connect through the internet on a deeper level. The only force in the world that's able to do that is a human told story where I'm walking you through my life, walking you through what I'm doing today, walking you through what the plans are for the next 2 years, walking you through what you're experiencing, talking to you about current events, talking to you about whatever's going on in the world, because then you feel seen and heard. And so your goal right now should be to master writing. Now, after you do that and you get a few clients, make it a goal to also live off of 50% of your income. Like live way below your income level, way below, so that you can put that money in savings. That's how you invest in yourself and your business, because technically the business funds that you make need to be invested back in the business. Okay, like that's why I don't like the word freelance writing, because it doesn't give as much of a professional sense as it should. Because really, as a freelance writer, understand that you are an entrepreneur, you are a business person, and so you have to think like a CEO. All the profit isn't for you. I'm gonna say that again. All the profit in your freelance business is not for you. You're gonna have to invest it back in the business in every single season. That's what we've been doing for the past 8 years. Every single season, always investing. Whether it's books, a mastermind, a new skill set, the finance side of things, hiring new workers, new contractors to help out on some projects. It's a business. You need to look at it as such, and that's going to help you when you're investing in Africa, and when you're traveling Africa, and when you're trying to put foundational roots on the ground without going back to America all the time. This is what you need to be doing. Now, the third section of this is as a freelancer, and nobody talks about this. You need to incorporate the business. You need to be looking out for business funding from companies like Hello Alice, okay? I'm gonna just put you on right now. Go sign up for Hello Alice. Hello Alice is a platform for Black women entrepreneurs and a few other women entrepreneurs, and they give funding for creative companies. So if you're in graphic design, if you're in web design, if you're freelance marketing, if you're a photography studio, if you're a video marketing studio, if you're any type of consultant and you're like, man, business is hard. Business isn't honestly that hard. You just don't know where to get the resources and how to apply the profit that you have to get a return on investment. Okay, so you need to be thinking like this. This is why I'm doing Write Your Way to Revenue. I was going to completely decommission it and never do it again because we've been so busy. I was like, man, there's just so much information out here that writers just don't understand, and nobody teaches it. I think a lot of freelance writers, copywriters, they just don't really look at it as a business, and they look at it as, okay, I'm just gonna write from my kitchen table, which is fine. But if you want to expand and leave any kind of legacy for your children and employ people in the workforce, right? I personally like to employ people in Africa. That's just my passion. I really like to do that. And sometimes I work with contractors in the US, but 9 times out of 10, I'm working with contractors all over Africa, Eastern and Southern Africa usually. And the reason is because there's so much talent here. Like, our people are so talented on the ground, but without the opportunities and without the diaspora connecting with each other like that, they just wouldn't know about those opportunities. And so I'm here to tell you, you can do the same thing. You can create some kind of content writing agency. You can create an education consulting firm. But writing is going to be the foundation of all of it, even if you're a graphic designer. Even if you're a web designer, even if you're a videographer. The reason is because without a strategic message and without the right positioning, clients ain't gonna come to your door, child. They're gonna walk right past you and go to the person that has a story that they remember, that they deeply resonate with, and that they feel like they can trust. And so this isn't one of those things where you can just flop up something online and not do the strategic planning to actually position it correctly in the market. This is why strategic communications is so important. It's the foundation, the bread and butter. Because let me tell you a story, actually. One of my clients, multi-million-dollar finance consulting firm, okay? Now, her website, she just created a website. This year, we were working on the website copy. And we were talking about it. And she's like, man, I just knew that I wanted to provide client results. And I knew that my messaging was important. And so she preferenced email writing and email copywriting and writing about her offers all the time to her email list rather than the glitz and glam of starting a business, okay? When you're a freelancer, when you're new to entrepreneurship, you don't need the glitz and glam. You don't need the $10,000 website. You have to have the mindset of profit first, because the thing is, if your business account doesn't have resources and revenue in there at all times, it's not really a business. It's just a hobby that's just collecting dust. And then you're saying, oh, entrepreneurship's hard. Entrepreneurship doesn't work. They don't tell you how hard it is. It's not that hard. It's actually super simple at this day and age. I can't imagine being an entrepreneur like in the 1950s. That would have been like totally different. Then you could say it was hard because we didn't have access to the things we have now. But in the age of information, when you can get funding, when they have freelance software services out here, like Bonsai, like Asana for project management, like Hello Alice where you can get business funding, like Square, Shopify, PayPal, Stripe, that have these creative funds set aside. This money, if you don't apply for it, if you don't incorporate your business, if you don't position yourself strategically in the market and have a darn good story, those funds either get wasted or they go somewhere else. And myself, I don't like wasting money like that. Look, if y'all have creative funds set aside for writers, for freelancers, for marketers, for communication consultants, for education consultants, I'm gonna go get it. And what's gonna make them give it to me is my story, because they know when they come across my website, when they're coming across my emails, when I'm actually writing things out, they're going to feel emotions. They're going to have all the feeling in their heart. They're going to just feel everything. They're going to be so excited about it. This is the type of writing that clients are looking for. And as you can imagine, ChatGPT isn't that great with emotions because it's a robot. Empathy is something that is divinely gifted to the creation that the Most High made. And so you have some incredible selling points out there just by being in tune with your humanity and your empathy. That's it. Like, that's so simple. That's so easy. And this is how we've been blessed in our businesses, because we see the value of stories and human empathy and connection. You know, we see the value of being diligent. Another thing that really irritates me about this industry recently, back when I started, like people would write sales pages. Sales letters, let me tell you a little bit of the history of advertising. They started in 1920. In 1920, people would write these long letters. They would go deliver them to people's doors. And I'm going to leave an actual example down in the description so you guys can see what I'm talking about. They would leave these letters, and these are sales pages I wrote. They would leave these letters, and the person, there wasn't social media back then. There wasn't targeting and ads, so you didn't really know if the person needed the offer, but it was a business coaching. And so they would give it to them. They would read the letter, if the story stuck out enough, the headline, and then if they articulated properly the value of the offer, they could call that person on the sales letter page. And they would just dial them up and say, hey, I'd like to learn more about this. That's what a sales letter was in the 1920s. Now in 2024, a sales page is like the pages you see that have a lot of writing, lots and lots of writing. There's a difference between a sales page and a landing page. The sales pages have a lot of writing because they're hitting the 4 buyer personas, and they're dealing with the different emotions and the different thoughts that the audience has as they're going through the page. You see that? And they're using empathy, and they're using stories, and they're using bullet points, and they're using calls to action, and they're using guarantees, and they're using all of these phenomenal psychological things. I personally just love psychology. I love creativity. I love storytelling. I love it all. And so people see these sales pages, and then it's easy for them to sign up for a $1,500 program, a $2,500 program. These are the types of offers my clients have, and it's easy for them to have a sold out offer because we're doing that storytelling. But I've noticed recently, like some of these entrepreneurs out here, they will just have a page up. I know either ChatGPT wrote it or the person who wrote it just isn't that great at descriptive storytelling, because they'll literally just list the features. And that's mistake number 1 in copywriting. You never just list features, because features don't tell me anything. Let's say you want to sell a 14 karat gold ring, and you say, 14 karat gold, it fits on your ring finger, it's really shiny, and that's not going to resonate, okay? That's not going to sell. Let me tell you what instead would sell. This gold ring reminds you that you are royalty. This gold ring makes everyone look at you like you're shining, like you're the best person in the room. This gold ring makes you feel a sense of prestige, like you matter in the world. Like you just got some of that, what's a good word I can use? Like you just got a resource from heaven, right? This is descriptive language. This is something that makes you feel like, okay, I'm either a part of something. This is showing the prestige that all humans innately want to feel. Just take it back to the Bible. The Most High says his people are his favorite people on earth. That's prestige, okay? And so you can use all of these principles to write incredible stories for your audience, okay? And then that's how you're always in demand as a marketing consultant, as a writer, as an education consultant. It's all about the message, because you can be so talented. You can be a software engineer, you can be the best coding person, but if you don't know how to connect with people where they need it, you don't know how to relate to people, and you're just spewing out features, and you're just spewing out everything that's great about you, all the accolades, and you're not making the message about the audience, then they're going to click off. And then you're not going to have a business. And then you're not going to sell. And then you're going to be in Africa saying that Africa doesn't work and business is hard. And so this is my piece of advice for you. I just dropped so many gems in this video. You should probably go watch it again. Go share it in an African diaspora group. Go share it with some entrepreneurs. And go ahead and check out the links in the description to the Introvert Marketer podcast. I talk a lot about storytelling on there. I have 17 episodes. You can actually binge them all, and it will teach you so much about storytelling, so much about freelance writing, so much even if you're a finance, logistics company, real estate, whoever you are. Every single business needs compelling stories, every single one. And the businesses that don't preference compelling stories in 2024 and 2025, well, they ain't gonna be here. And I don't want that to happen to you. So you might as well go listen to the Introvert Marketer podcast. If you want to become a freelance writer like me and dozens of freelance writers that I've trained, go ahead and check out the link down below, because on June 9th and June 15th, is it 15th or 16th? You're gonna have to look at the page. It's on Sunday. June 9th and 15th, I'm actually going through to teach Write Your Way to Revenue again, because there's such a big gap in the market, and I just know I need to share this information with you so that you can choose your specific niche, choose your specific packages, go over your contracts, and then you'll be on your way to making $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 per month with writing on your laptop. And then who knows, maybe you'll create some kind of content studio in Ghana or South Africa, or maybe you'll be doing some photography stuff or videography or music stuff. Or maybe you'll be doing like healthcare and wellness stuff, and then you'll write about it and you'll have like a whole wellness consulting firm. Or, you know, maybe you'll actually go through and talk to education consultants and institutions in Africa, and then you're gonna network with them, whether it's in Kenya, South Africa, Ghana. You know what, the options are really endless. So I'm gonna just see you in Write Your Way to Revenue. Talk soon.